Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker from BonnieBayCrochet.com, and I'd like to demonstrate for you a braided cable. I'm just starting with a row of, I believe it's 19 double crochets. You can use any multiple of 6 plus 1 to do this. I'm going to chain 3 at the end of my foundation row, and I'm going to begin the braid. I'm going to skip this on the end, this double crochet on the end. It's going to kind of act as a border stitch, and I'm going to do a similar thing when I get to the chain 3 over here. So we're going to pretend this stitch doesn't really exist for our purposes. Okay, we're going to be working over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these next 6 double crochets. Okay, we're going to skip. Again, we're going to skip this as our border, but we're going to skip 1, 2 double crochets. I'm going to be using treble crochet, so I'm going to wrap the yarn twice. And I'm also going to be using a what we call front post stitch, which means I go in the front and the needle kind of goes around the body of the stitch like this. Then I'm going to pull up a loop and I'm going to complete a treble crochet. If you don't know how to do a treble crochet, I do have another video online. I don't have time to go into all of that, but go ahead and check out the treble or triple crochet on BonnieBayCrochet.com. Okay, so now we're going to make a second stitch. We're going to go to the next double crochet. We're going to do a front post treble. It is around the double crochet, but we are working in treble right here. Okay, now I have 2. Now I'm going to go back over these 2 stitches that we've skipped, and I'm going to work 1 treble front post treble crochet around this stitch and then the next stitch, the first 2 stitches that we skipped. Remember to keep that first stitch of the row as a border stitch. Just keep it there without working it. Okay, this might get a little tricky. Make sure you don't go around more than the double crochet. Okay, now we have 2 more stitches here to complete our braid. We're going to wrap the needle twice for our treble. Going to go around front post stitch, complete the treble, and we're going to do the next stitch. Okay, now we're going to just keep repeating that across. Okay, we're going to skip the first 2 stitches for the next braid. Wrap the yarn twice, do our treble, front post treble, wrap it twice, do another one, now we're going to go back and we're going to work the 2 stitches that we just skipped. Wrap the needle twice for your treble, okay, and do the second stitch. It's one of these things where you kind of get the feel of it after a while. And you can actually, what I'm doing in the back side, let me just show you. I can, with my left thumb or my right thumb, if you're watching the left-handed version, I can kind of feel the needle head coming through and around. You see that? I can feel it coming through and around and actually use that middle finger to help direct the head of the needle a bit. Let me get some more yarn going. Okay, so now I've done 6 stitches here. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but once you get about 2 or 3 rows, it starts to look a lot better. Now we're going to do that one more time. We're going to skip these 2, do front post around the front post treble crochet around the next 2. Okay, we've got 2 there, so we're going to go back and do these 2 stitches. Okay, and then the last 2 stitches of the row. Remember, it's a multiple of 6 plus 1, and then of course you're going to want to add to the chain row, you're going to want to add an additional 3 stitches for the turning chain for the double crochet. Okay, so now I've got the beginnings of 3 cables. Now I've come to my end here and I just have my chain 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work a double crochet. I'm just going to go through the entire chain hole there. Okay, and I'm going to chain 3, even though we're doing treble, because this tends to be a thicker stitch, and even though I'm using treble crochet, it's really about the equivalent height of a double crochet, so that's why I'm only chaining 3. Okay, we're going to turn. Now where we used front post before, this is a little trickier. I'm going to be working back post treble crochet, but it's pretty much the same way. I'm going to loop it twice, and I'm going to skip 1, the first 2, and again I'm using my thumb back here. The two treble crochets that are kind of sticking out on top in the back, I'm going to do a back post treble around each of those. 1, 2, and just like before, now we're going to we're going to do the 2 that we skipped. Again, all back post treble. And go in from the back side. Can you see that? This gets a little tricky. This is not exactly a beginner stitch. I don't want to discourage anybody from trying this, but you need to be sure that you're pretty fluid with your single crochet, double crochet, and you know what a treble crochet is, so that doesn't get you in trouble. Okay, now we have 2 more stitches here. Now these are a little harder to, you can kind of, again, I'm using my middle finger here to kind of feel where the needle's going to go. I'm going to wrap it twice, coming in from the back to the front and then the back again. All back post. You can actually see the needle coming in the front there. Okay, I've completed the first braid of this row. Having a little bit of trouble with the yarn getting tangled. Let's look on the second braid of this row. We're going to wrap it twice. We're just continuing again. We're going to skip 1, 2, and then the third one is the one that crosses over in the back. I'm going to do a treble crochet there, and then another one right beside it. Okay, now we're going to wrap it twice. We're going to do trebles around, back post treble around the 2 that we just skipped. So if you find you skip stitches and then you don't go back and work over them within 2 stitches, then something's, it's not going to work out. So you'll probably see that. Okay, now we're going to have 2 more for this braid, which are the 2 that are kind of hidden under here. Don't want to forget those. A treble. Okay, and one more. Again, we're doing the 2. Whoops, let's try that one again. And again, we're doing the 2 that are standing up, on the back side. Back post treble crochets. Now we skipped these 2. Now we're going to do those next. And then lastly, we're going to do these last 2, again, back post treble crochets. Let's try that again. Okay, now we're going to do one in the chain. Chain 3, turn. Now you can kind of see it coming together a little bit more. I'm going to do one more so that you see what it looks like. We're going to skip these 2. We're going to work these 2. Now we go back to front post. Okay, I'm going to work 2 front post just like we did with the first row, except this time it's starting to look more like a braid because we're not working on the foundation row, we're actually working on the braid. Now we do the 2 that we just skipped. Now we do the last 3 of the first braid. Now these are a little harder to see. They're kind of hiding behind this braid piece here, but you can see the stitches from top, so you're going to have to kind of work your needle in there like this. Again, doing the front post, wrap it twice where you put it in. Okay, try to finish out this row for you. Hopefully the yarn won't get tangled again. Okay, yarn wrapped twice, skip 2. We're starting our second braid of the row. Going to treble crochet, wrap it twice, do another treble right beside it, wrap it twice. I'm going to do the 2 stitches that we just skipped. One more. And this pattern works out really well with the thicker yarn, like the Lion brand, homespun, and a larger needle. You can make some really nice scarves, hats using this pattern. Okay, and let me do one more, the last braid of this row. Okay, I didn't tell you what I just did here. Again, just skip these 2, and I'm beginning front post treble crochet in the next 2. Now I'm going to do the 2 that I just skipped. Again, we're just doing the same thing over and over again, but it makes kind of a nice effect, and honestly it keeps this crocheter from getting, you know, too bored from just doing straight stitches across. Okay, now again, these last 2 are harder because you can see the tops of them right here. You're going to have to dig down for them just a little bit. So these stitches are, in a sense, literally braided together because you are connecting to stitches of the previous row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. I'm going to go ahead and do a double crochet. Now this is what I'm going to do to discontinue this. Let me give you a good look at the braids. Okay. Now to discontinue this, I'm going to chain 2, turn. I'm going to work back post. You can work front post double crochet to discontinue, but honestly I think the yarn will set flatter if you use back post as your last row. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to do back post double crochet all the way across. I'm not going to skip anything. I'm just going to work a back post double crochet over each treble crochet of the row in the order that they appear. No skipping. I'm going to go straight across. So and you can even to try to make sure you know where you are, especially trying to get these stitches here. Don't forget these. These are a little more tricky to get, but you should have 6 double crochets for every 3-stranded braid that you're creating. So when I get done here, I should have 18 double crochets, since I'm making 3 braids. 3 times 6 is 18, and then I'll have 1 extra in the end for the turning chain. Oops, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. I'm just trying to get to the end here so that I can explain the end and show you what I've got. Okay, I'm almost to the end. This is double crochet 18, and then I'm going to put 1 in the turning chain here. I'm going to chain 1 and turn just so I can show you. It's not a very extensive braid. Obviously you can make these braids as long as you like, but you can kind of see the effect of it. Okay, well, have fun with this one. Bye-bye.